To help you prepare for the first exam, I'm going to give you an overview of the big picture items that you should know for the exam. In Chapter 2, we discuss market demand and market supply, so you need to know the factors that can lead to a change in demand, the factors that can lead to a change in supply. You should also be able to distinguish between a change in demand versus a change in quantity demanded, and likewise a change in supply versus a change in quantity supplied. You should be able to graphically illustrate all that I just mentioned. Also, you should be able to graphically illustrate market equilibrium to determine a market equilibrium price, a market equilibrium quantity. We discussed the significant difference between a market price, which results in a market disequilibrium situation where quantity demanded does not equal quantity supplied, versus a market equilibrium price. At that price, quantity demanded equals quantity supplied. Should be able to graphically illustrate the difference between both of these pricing concepts. We introduced the market system, which was not explicitly discussed in Chapter 2, so you need to know what the market system is, the two important functions of the market system: allocating scarce resources and distribution of goods and services. We also talked about different economic scenarios, excess demand and excess supply. Should be able to graph both and discuss how the market system would operate in both scenarios. We introduced price controls, which was not explicitly mentioned in Chapter 2. The justifications for price controls: affordability and availability. Price controls, examples are price ceiling and price floor, can meet one but not the other of the noble objectives of price controls. We finished Chapter 2 by introducing, again, new material not found in the chapter: social welfare analysis. We talked about consumer surplus, producer surplus, social welfare, and debt weight loss. A tax placed on the product will lead to a decrease in social welfare, which is debt weight loss. You should be able to graphically illustrate and compute consumer surplus, producer surplus, social welfare, as well as debt weight loss. In Chapter 3, we introduced elasticities, and we introduced four major types of elasticities: price elasticity of demand, price elasticity of supply, cross price elasticity of demand, and finishing up with income elasticity of demand. Good news, the equations are provided for you in class, will be given to you, so you do not have to memorize the equations for these types of elasticities. You should know the applications of price elasticity of demand and price elasticity of supply, particularly in the area of burden of taxation. We also use information pertaining to price elasticity of demand and supply to estimate the percentage change in price. And we talked about the relationship between changes in price elasticity of demand and pricing strategy and revenue forecasting. So you should be able to discuss the relationship between changes in price elasticity of demand, pricing strategy, and revenue forecasting. Finally, I placed on Angel a practical exam, and in class next week I will go over a majority of those questions from the practical exam. I will, prior to our exam, place all answers to this practical exam on Angel.